How's it going, everyone? This is going to be hopefully a short presentation on how to upload for animation all the files that I'm going to give you. We're going to work on how to drive constraints, how to use motion constraints, and that kind of stuff to create animations. So in today's folder, you're going to see in Thursday here the animation assembly part files. When you click on that, it'll go to a Google Drive. It looks something like this. You can just hold Shift after you click the first one and click all of them, right click, and then just go to download. It'll create basically a zip file. Once that's all done, then you need to extract that zip file, which is important. Take a couple seconds here, but what you will see is something like, and I'll look at downloads here, something like this with a little zipper, comes in here, there it is again. Once I open that, it'll say in pink up here or in another color, extract. If you just click extract all, then it'll create basically a location for it. Once you extract them all, then you'll have something that looks similar to this, where they show up just as files. Now you can take these files and upload them to Fusion. So I'm going to put this off screen actually, and then I'm going to hop into Fusion, select my project, hit upload, and then it says to drag and drop them here. Now I can either do that, literally click, again, hold Shift, drag them and drop them in here and upload them, or I can select files and go find them wherever they were, which is right here. Once that's done, I'll cancel all this because I've already done it. Once that's done, you are going to see them all pop up over here on the left here. And these are different types of robotics equipment, actually for the middle school, but we're just going to use them because they're available and they're easy to train you kind of how to animate things and move things around. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create this, which is a pulley animation. Basically has two pulleys, and again, usually you would have a belt or something around here to move those, but our goal is to create basically a revolute motion link, motion constraint, which we'll talk about here in a sec, to create something that looks like this, where they would animate and model together to preview any kind of animation to simulate. Press escape. So I'm going to close that and act like I don't know anything and I haven't started anything. The instructions inside of Schoology will help you tremendously. So I recommend going back here and you're going to see the animation, pull this up a little bit, animation activity walkthrough here. And what that does is it literally walks you step by step on what parts to grab, specifically where to put them, how to join them together. This is the detailed version basically of what I would go over in the videos. Tells you what pieces to use, shows you where the constraints are going to be, and everything that you basically want to do, including animation and what numbers to punch in to make that happen. I'm going to show you in this video, obviously, so you can watch this as a second, but I'm going to use it kind of as a reference down here. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So first things first, we got to have this beam that it asks for. And again, just by reading the directions, it says that I need a 4-time beam. So if I look over here, you got this 1/8 4-time shaft. And this is what it's asking to start with, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to drag and drop that in. And it says right here, you didn't save this, save the file, which is always what you got to do first before you can even start. So we'll call this one Pulley example. Make sure it's in my folder, press save. And then from here, now I can start dragging stuff in. Once I bring that over, drag, drop, it'll pop in. Press OK because that's the first part. It's really easy. First part, you always ground, especially when you're creating animations in motion. It's really important. So you're going to ground it. Second one up. Good to go. See the little pin, push pin that's up there on the top, and you should be good. Next couple pieces, I'll put in the pulleys themselves. There's only a couple here, so there's not much to choose from. If I look here, there's a 10mm pulley here. And I can move these around. Doesn't really matter where you move them. I just kind of put them close to where I'm going to put them eventually, because you're going to use joints and they'll pop in exactly where you want them to be. Come back up, look for that other pulley, which is right here, 40mm. Pop that one in. And again, pretty close to where I want it anyways. Push it over here. The axles are kind of the next part. You can move that around a little bit. Axles are the next part. And again, just by looking at the walkthrough, I know that I'm going to use the 4-time pitch one. So this is the 8-time pitch one. This is the 4-time. It's a little shorter. It's only 2 inches instead of 4 inches. Drag that in there. Move that close to where I want it. Again, it's going to be over here somewhere. Press OK. And I'm going to need 2 of those actually, because I need one for the back axle here. Move that over. And again, I'm just placing it anywhere. And now I'm going to constrain them by using the joints. So I can close this just to give a better picture. And the first one I'm going to do, it really doesn't matter. You press joint. I'm going to use this axle node. Join that axle. Take the part that you want to move first and push it to where you want it to go. Obviously, it's inside there. I'm going to pull this and offset it by 30. And you can see here, just to make it, because I've done this a couple times, I kind of realized that that's the best way. That's just offsetting it. Press OK. And if you look, that joint is actually a solidified joint, so we don't want that. We're going to go ahead and right-click, hit Edit Joint, and you'll see this new little tab over here. It says Motion, and you'll see Revolute. We want that to turn inside there, and it even gives you a little preview there to what it's going to look like. You press OK, and now you can see that the icon has changed to this little flag-looking thing, and that's a Revolute constraint. Do the same thing to the other side. So Joint, piece I want to move to the location I want it to move to. Same exact thing, about 30. And I can change it before I move to the next one. Revolute again, shows a preview, press OK. Now before I put these pulleys in, I think it's important to do the motion study first, or the motion constraint first. So I'm going to go to Assemble, and then I'm going to go to Motion Link. And all this does is takes two joints and links them together, and you basically give the conditions that you want them to follow. And I'll explain that in a sec. So don't revert position. You always want to capture position, and that just locks everything in the location it needs to be. And if you see the motion link, it's asking for 2 different joints. So I select the 2 joints that I want to turn, and you can see at the same exact time. Now in this scenario, we don't want to change any of this because we want them to turn exactly at the same speed and the same RPM, same everything, revolution. So we're going to press OK. And now I'm going to install, whatever you want to call it, these pulleys into it. And again, just got to be consistent. So if I bring that back 20, 19, 20, press OK. Same thing here, joint. I want this piece to go here. Oops, a little off. Cancel that. Joint. Here to here. And again, we did 10 on the other one. 20, I mean. Press OK. And then you're pretty much done. So we have this piece, and then you're going to go to joints if you want to animate it to see what it would look like. And you're going to go to either one of these revolutes. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. Oops, we made 2 other revolutes. So I'm going to double click those. We want these pulleys to be solidified, and we don't want them to revolute with it. We want it to be rigid to the axle, because what we're turning is the axle. We're not turning the pulley. So we want the pulley to be attached to the axle as if it's glued. Same thing over here. See how we have 2 revolutes? We don't want that. So we're going to come to this one as well. I'm going to go to motion and make that rigid. And you can see it shakes. And now when I go to I only have these 2 revolutes. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to animate model. And as you can see, they turn and animate together. And you're all set. See, no hands. And that's the first one. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, just email your teacher, guys. Thanks.